Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Spar of Words with your host, me, Mr.Wright. Spar of Words is a series where I'll be debating, responding, and arguing someone else's viewpoints. Today I have discovered a video about the UK, or more specifically, the English section of the UK. Now I think that England is in a hot mess right now. I've done a video about the UK before, which of course involved England. However, England is part of my history. I care for the English history as much as my own history of American history. This video is about the English flag and why people should not be allowed to use it. So firstly, I want to be very clear. I do not believe flags are this hate speech garbage we hear about. A flag is nothing but a flag. I do not care what it represents. I live in California. I see USSR flags, I see China's flags, I see Mexico's, I see Cuba's, all over the place. If we want to get even more political, I see LGBT flags constantly in stores, in cabs, in San Francisco. There's literally nothing but a street full of them. Although I do think these flags mean harm to me, especially like the Cuban flag, the USSR flag, and the LGBT flag. As an American who has traditional values, those three flags represent something that I should be disgusted by. And those flags, at least two of them, represent communism and the deaths of millions of people. And some of these flags are the desire to destroy the traditional values that make America so great. So, even though I think these are true, and I think these flags represent the destruction of me and my people and my kind, of Americans, I would never stop someone from flying these flags, as it's merely a flag, and it could be their heritage. And if it's their heritage, I shouldn't care. If they're proud to be Mexican, be proud to be Mexican. If you're proud to be gay, be proud to be gay. If you're proud to have Russian heritage, the USSR, sure, I think you're insane, but sure, be proud. The China flag, all those flags, be proud to have that heritage. But don't hate me for having an American flag. But now, let's get right into the video.
Please stop flying that terrible flag everywhere.
First, take note of what he just said. Please stop flying that terrible flag everywhere. Keep that quote in your head as you go along in this video. He'll say some things every now and then that should get your attention. I'll point out one of them objectively when we get there. Anyways, we'll continue on.
My name's Callum. I'm here to argue in favour of the England flag.
Good to see some men in the UK/England area have some balls to stand up for their country. I was so sick and tired of seeing all these men and women in England lie down like a Nazi dog waiting to be shot by the USSR, essentially. So glad to see some fire left in the souls of these people. And if you want to see his side, I recommend you watch the video, as I'm not going to be showing his side, mostly the person that says no flag. He's the person I want to focus on. I will say some things from him will be put in, but mostly what he is saying, the person he's debating with, I'm focusing on.
There's a kind of arrogance that ignores what this flag has been used for and the history of actually its usage in this country. We remember the National Front flying the St. George's Cross, and really this flag has come to represent something like the Confederate flag in America.
And that is a problem. How? The Confederate flag shows resistance to the federal government and resistance to letting the government take away their state rights. We can argue all we want about the war was for slavery and they wanted to keep the slaves, the North wanted to free the slaves. But remember that history is written by the winners. The North is pasting that that's the reason the war happened, when there's much other bigger reasons for it. But do remember, the act that Abe Lincoln put into effect that freed the slaves was 2 years after the war had already been going on. This is besides the point. I just want to talk about how that doesn't make any sense to me. How the English flag is like the Confederate flag. It doesn't make any sense why that's a problem. They both represent something that means something to the person who will be wielding that flag. Have it be heritage, have it be a way of life they enjoyed. If it is about slavery, who cares? Who cares?
Where it's a very narrow, very white, very English nationalism. And if I see this flag on a pub, it means to me, don't go in.
Oh my god. If I put a flag that represents my home, my country, my heritage, my history, my people outside my pub in my own country. That's wrong. If that offends you, then leave the damn country. Clearly, you don't care about the country. I don't care if Hitler takes up the English flag. That flag is nothing but some cloth with some color waving in the wind. What matters is the people holding that flag. I guess if Hitler was holding the flag, it'd be a different story, but that flag is nothing but a flag. It's just a flag. The swastika, for example, on the Nazi flag, was Hindu at first. It meant peace. It meant a form of spirituality. Hitler adopted it, and now we can't use swastikas because it's considered to be racist and promoting Hitler's ideology. Are you fucking kidding me? A flag is a flag. I don't care if it has swastika. I don't care if it has ISIS marks on it. A flag is just a flag.
It didn't have any of those connotations beforehand.
Well, actually, did it not have any other connotations when they were flying this flag during the Crusades?
Jesus Christ. How dare those Christians who had their Holy Land taken from them by Islamic Turkish soldiers. How dare they think they should be allowed to have that land back? How dare they, the Christians, by the order of the Pope, who did a call of arms in order to take back the land that was stolen from them first? How dare those crusaders fly a flag of their country to show their support for the Crusades, to take back the land that was taken from them? Who would do such an evil, unforgivable thing? Meanwhile, in the Middle East, people travel to a cube. I wonder how these people would feel if the story was swapped. If Christian soldiers took Mecca and took the cube from the Muslims, I wonder how they would respond and how history would change if the Muslims were doing a crusade against the Christians. I highly doubt they'd even mention it was for religious purposes, much less care who was in the war, other than white nation bad, brown nation good.
English must not have these things when they were flying it, when they were trying to enslave my ancestors.
Get over it. Simple as that. Are you a slave now? No. So why does it matter that it happened in the past? If I was feeling ballsy, I would go ahead and say that I was once a slave too. I am Irish. There's a rumor in the far right the Irish slaves were real, that the James II made the proclamation of 1625 to have all Celtic and Irish political prisoners be sold to the settlers in the New World. 30,000 of them. If I was ballsy enough to say that, I would actually put that as a point, but I'm not going to. But I will be putting a link to a little talk about it in the description below. But if it was real, where's my victim card? They have a victim card, where's mine?
Did it not have these connotations when it was flown around the colonies?
Okay, welcome to what happened to Europe for, 1,000 years. The weak will die or be captured while the strong will be the ones doing it. With this same logic, I guess everyone in Europe should hate Russia, hate the Mongols, and anyone that was connected to the Huns. They raided and pillaged the fuck out of Europe and made their homes there. I'm not defending that colonialism was a good thing or a bad thing. I am merely saying, grow the fuck up. Much like your slavery bullshit that was started by your own people, this happened hundreds of years ago. Your great-great-great-grandfather probably wasn't even alive to see this, much less you. Not to mention, you're still living in England, I assume. I find it kind of weird that you won't go back to that quote-unquote home country that England tried to colonize.
There's a reason why the English flag has been picked up by the far right. It isn't just this tiny minority.
British cultural identity is not based on the Crusades. It's, in fact...
For some, it definitely is, actually. I think this war against Islam, the war against... They're still there.
First off, look at this. Look at this smug-ass face. The smug-ass face right here when he hears that shit. I don't care, and nor should you care if some people, this flag means the death of Islam. I'm sorry, but Islam has done a bunch of fucked shit, and although I wouldn't be happy seeing someone hold an Islamic flag, I would let it slide. However, the moment that person gets fucked up by, let's say, he's trying to blow up a building, or Allahu Akbar, and he has that flag, I'm the first person in line to burn that shit to the ground.
The real question is, why do you feel so connected to this flag? I mean,
Now go back to what I was saying at the very beginning, at the higher point of this video. Please stop waving that flag everywhere. Guess what that means, you little anti-British fuck. It's just a flag. Why are you so easily offended by it? Why?
Your accusations of empire and the Crusades to normal people sound frankly ridiculous.
to white people that might sound ridiculous, but to normal people that I know, that sounds perfectly reasonable.
Wow, racism much? Who do you hang out with, Mr. Is it Kennedy? I can't pronounce your name. If I had to guess, I would say the Muslim Brotherhood, or one of your many grooming gangs in the UK or England. I wouldn't be surprised if one of your buddies ends up on the news having a giant ass knife and trying to attack an Englishman for simply having a flag. Well, that's all I wanted to show. If this is how England is going, someone's going to start throwing some punches or throwing some Molotovs. England, I would pray for you if I honestly believed praying would work. I'm not a very religious person. But God help England. That's all I gotta say. Till next time, this is Mr. Wright, signing out.